Yo, welcome back, everybody, to another Let Me Say This special episode. I'm joined today, as always, with my co host, Anthony Likes, Raphael Rhodes,
What's up?
myself, Roderick Davis. This is a continuation episode from an episode we did in regards to the NFL schedule, just kind of looking at some of the games by the weeks, looking at some of the marquee games and matchups during those weeks, and then more so looking at the primetime games, some of them that we talked about in the first episode. We just kind of surprised that some of the people that got some primetime games, where some of those primetime games are being played, you kind of see a pattern or something that uh, the NFL, they definitely have a thing, is what we realized from the last episode. But we are back and we will start here at week 10. Um, guys, any
Before
any recap from go ahead. I was about to say, go ahead.
I was gonna say, just before we get started, I talked to Anthony. I do want to touch up on a few things real quick. Um, just today, actually, some new rules had come out, and they decided not to ban tush push. So the tush push is staying in the league, which I'm actually okay with because it is a football play. The Eagles just seem to do it better than everybody else, and it's kind of forced on the team to stop it. The onside kick rule has changed. It used to, last year it was that you had to be down, and in the fourth quarter, any team can declare an onside kick. Now they removed the fourth quarter portion. You can declare it at any time. Uh, NFL players can also be playing in the 2028 Olympics. I want to get your guys' thoughts on that before we get started. And they have a new offensive lineman award, the Protector of the Year award that they're coming out with as well, to give the big hogs up front a chance for some recognition for their hard-earned work. But the one that I found interesting was players playing flag football in 2028. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Do you guys think that'll help the Olympic Games, hurt the Olympic Games? What are your thoughts?
I don't necessarily think. I honestly think it. Well, I guess you could say it enhance it. I don't think it would hurt it, but I guess you could just say it would enhance it. This is something some people have been looking for. I mean, obviously they're not going to play contact football, so but this is a nice, I guess you could say, substitute.
Are you are you concerned at all with injuries or anything like that happening to any of the athletes?
It's part of the game, like because we can sit here and say the same thing about the Olympic basketball. Like we
Not
don't
true.
want, yeah, we don't. Why would I want Jordan to go over there potentially, risk an injury or any of the top guys in any era of when the NBA players were playing in the Olympics? So I don't really kind of see, and I don't think it'll be like the guys that are probably like 1 to 3 at their position. Probably won't be that many of those guys on those rosters. They're probably they probably fill out some guys that are probably like, hey, some of the bottom of the top 10 guys per se that'll play in the Olympics, and then see how it tested out, see how it goes, and then if it's one of those situations that we want to throw out some of our best guys in there to kind of bring home the gold medal, and then go from there. So kind
Well,
of use this.
we talked about the NFL kind of going international, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, Dre kind of touched on that with the schedule release. With the NFL going international, I mean, I personally think it's good to have like a Patty Mahomes represent the American team
Yeah.
in flag football because you're putting your star, the guy that everybody knows, out in the open to win the gold for the Americans. I think that's a genius move marketing wise by the NFL to allow this to happen. Personally, I think because we talk about they're just trying to make money. This is going to bring in a lot of viewers that are now going to tune in to Netflix, the NFL on Netflix on Christmas Day, and watch it. And I think that's a pretty good transition to let's get started with the NFL schedule.
I'm glad we brought that up because, well, I say that topic for another time. Why is it all sports leagues just making stuff more difficult to watch? But here to the schedule release, I almost clicked the tab without sharing my screen. Uh, Share. And here we are.
All right, week 10.
Get this out of the way. Do you want no thanks? Because we're not on that. All right. Let's start with the Thursday night game. How many um, Thursday night games do we got that consist of divisional matchups? Like, because
Quite a few.
I know at one point it was like 4 straight NFC West games. So this is a nice way to kick off. Raiders and the Broncos. Another, I see an 8:30 a.m. kickoff, so that means this game is overseas. Falcons
That
versus
one's
Colts.
that one's international, and it's on NFL Network too. So that the NFL Network one will tell you if it's international.
Bryce, I'm expected to see Daniel Jones at some point in the season. I've said that through every week of the NFL schedule release topics. So I'm expecting to see Daniel
I
Jones.
agree. I think Daniel.
So,
It's going to be. He might even have the starting role come the beginning of the year. I don't know
yeah,
how the Indianapolis fans don't just call for Richardson's head after the stunt he pulled last year.
yeah. What about the Saints and Panthers, Dre? You think Tyler Shook will be by week 10? You think he'll
I think
have
it's
some action?
his job to lose at this point. I
Yeah,
mean, you know, when we recorded the episode a few days back, I think it was right off the heels of Derek Carr's retirement. And I said in the last episode that we were doing about the schedule review, it's really beautiful to sit back and look at some of these games and really have a 50-50 toss up about what's going to happen and not really care. Tyler Shook, um, low expectations, high risk, and I don't even see a high reward, high ceiling out of this. I see at best one season that we're probably working with as far as with him, and then we're looking to move on to another quarterback situation next year. So,
Arch
um,
Manning, Arch Manning.
however we can take it.
Tank for Arch. Tank for
Yeah,
Arch.
I also like that Vikings Ravens game that's on tap there. That's going to
I
be a
say,
noon game. That's going to be highly contested to see.
yeah,
Actually, I'm sorry. Looking at it, I see that's a CBS and Fox. So I venture to believe that in everybody's respective regions, those will be the two games that'll be on at noon that particular week.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll be the Fox doubleheader: the Ravens and Vikings, and the Saints and Panthers.
And moving along, okay, now we getting down to that. Uh, 49ers Rams always good. Always good to watch those two. Seem like the 49ers always have the Rams numbers though in the regular season, and then the playoffs come around. I think the Rams last took them out in the playoffs to go to the Super Bowl. Detroit and Washington, a rematch of a divisional round last season. So, Washington came in there and kind of put numbers up on Detroit's defense and got some turnovers on Jared Goff to kind of give them
I
give
do
those
like that.
guys the win.
Yeah, but
I do
speaking
like
of
that.
playoff,
I was
I
gonna
was
say I
gonna
do
say,
like also I like that cross division game down there. That's gonna be that Sunday night football game between the Chargers and the Steelers. Two teams that you really don't see get to interact with each other very much, but are also
Mhm.
still in the uh same conference. So it'll be really, really nice to see how that game turns out too.
yeah,
Yeah,
but two coaches that are very highly respected in the league as well,
Yeah.
with Harbaugh and Tomlin.
Yeah. So it'd be good to see how their chess matchup comes out of that game.
And if you look at that Monday night game, you have another playoff rematch between the Packers and the Eagles.
yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say
That'll
another.
be a good one.
And this
Yeah,
game is also because the Packers were the ones who pretty much was spearheading the whole tush push. So,
Yeah, so that's
so
interesting. And Sirianni just got his extension. He
that's
just signed his 10-year extension to the Eagles. So I think that'll be an interesting game. That's going to be a very interesting.
yeah,
I
cap,
think it's going to be a personal matchup.
yeah, way to cap off the week 10 right there. And speaking of, I'll go back to 49ers as we seen in news with the Brock Purdy extension. That's the biggest one. I know they also extended Fred Warner, but the Brock Purdy, because the talks around, like, is he worth paying what the market is right now, or do they pay him below the market? But it seems like the 49ers, 5 year, $265 million, $181 million guaranteed. How do you guys feel about that? Is that a fair deal? Is it an overpay or?
How can you not think it's a fair deal when he's gotten the 49ers to the playoffs?
pay him
How
before
do you,
somebody else does.
and if they weren't going to pay him, somebody else would have paid him, because look at the value he
Saints.
brought to that team.
Saints would have
Pay
paid him.
him, pay him before somebody else does. That's
Yeah.
always the main goal in the NFL. If you see somebody that you know you're more than 90% sure is about to get paid, you paid them before you let somebody else pay them. I give somebody that just had a similar situation this past offseason that didn't get paid as much but got paid. Justin Fields, just to throw in a comparison, if he was already settled on a team, he would have been in the same situation. Pay him before he leaves and gets paid by somebody else.
And that's the thing. It's like you have, but you have Brock Purdy, who came in with a very low upside because he was Mr. Irrelevant, and he started winning games, and then he started getting you to the playoffs, and then he started getting you to the championship, like division championship games in the Super Bowl. Like, how can you not pay this guy? He's far exceeded the expectations. And in my opinion, for the 49ers, he's worth every dime that they paid him, because who do they have? Who do they have behind him?
Mac Jones, who? No, but yeah.
But Mac Jones hasn't proven that he can win.
The original Kyle Shanahan guy. I think that's who I know that they were talking to them wanting Mac Jones at first, but they settled for Trey Lance. I think he probably would have fared better with Mac Jones in that system. Trey Lance was just unfortunate with the injuries, so no telling what Trey Lance probably would have done, but it is what it is now. Moving on to week 11, and here we go. Thursday, another divisional Thursday night Amazon game, Jets at Patriots. I feel like this could be one of those games where it's just like these two teams could have either a losing record, or they could be one of those teams, two teams that can battling for a wild card spot. So a game like this is going to matter at this point in the season. So
I will say this: when it comes to the Jets and the Patriots Thursday night, I want to know how much Amazon paid to get all these conference games. Because if you look at the Amazon, like we've talked about, those Thursday night schedules, they're all division conference rivalry games. And is that because the product on Thursday night hasn't been good, and so they want to attract more hype from the fans? Like, they want fans to watch because they want the games to mean something. When it's an interdivisional game and on a Thursday night, nobody wants to stay up till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. But if it's your team playing for a division, like, this could be a pretty good game. I don't think the Jets are going to be as good as they hoped they're going to be, but I think the Patriots are going to be better than they were last year, because they beefed up offensive line. Their defense is pretty solid, and they have a quarterback in Drake May that is really a phenom. So if you protect him and you give him some weapons, which they did, I think
the Patriots drafted really well. Yeah, the Patriots drafted really well. So, and as far as the Jets, new coaching regime. But like I said, I still feel like even though the Patriots did what they did, we still got to see the product on the field. That's why I said I feel like this could go two ways. Either these teams are battling for a wild card spot, or positioning in a wild card spot, or maybe even positioning for draft picks for next year's draft. But I see more of a battling for a playoff position, because I think the Jets just, even though they got Justin Fields, I think the quarterback play has kind of hindered them in a way to where they can't get over the hump and make it into the playoffs. Because even with the Zach Wilson, they won 7 games. So you even get Zach Wilson playing mediocre to just above average, they may be sneaking to the playoffs with Zach Wilson. So with the defense that they have, so that's
ownership is hindering the Jets.
That too.
We have another international game with Commanders and Dolphins. They're playing in Madrid.
Yeah, I think I want to say they're doing like 16 international games this season.
I thought it was 11.
I thought it was 11. It's a lot. I know it's a lot.
But it could be 16.
Seemed like
a lot more than normal.
Yeah, I want to say I think it starts at least around week 4 or week 5. We'll have to go once we put that other video out. We'll see.
Bears Vikings it'll be a good matchup.
I like this Tampa Bay at Buffalo. That might be a sneaky early good game. Yeah. A sneaky early good game.
Tampa Bay having to go to New York late mid-November is really going to be a telltale game.
I like the Chargers and Jaguars. You got the Justin Herbert
division
versus
games.
Trevor Lawrence, and then I don't know
A
if
bunch
Chargers
of
been back. I don't know if the Chargers been back to Jacksonville since they blew that 27-point lead in the playoffs. I don't know if they've
that
been back down there.
whole that
Yeah,
whole road down there is straight division games.
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Bears and
Straight
Vikings.
division games.
The two teams I think that are probably going. One of the two teams I think are going to win the division because, like I said, I expect that Detroit a minor slip up. Yeah. Bears, Bengals, and Steelers. You know what you're gonna get when you put the NFC North against the NFC North. You know what you're gonna get out of those. Texas at Titans. Cam Ward, C.J. Stroud. So this is pay attention to the AFC South this year. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, because Cam Ward just signed his rookie contract as number one.
Yeah,
He's
AFC
number one for the Titans.
I think the
taking over
AFC
one
South
win.
is going to be a little bit more competitive this year, in my
I think
my
so
honest
because
opinion.
of
I think the Cardinals show improvement. I think I could see the Cardinals being a lot better, and I think the
Like-
49ers are going
like
to
I
come
said-
back as long as Christian McCaffrey comes back.
I feel
and-
like if you ask the Cardinals, like, would you have to have, like, would you want to have that hot start and fizzle out, or would you want to have a slow start, but then let's say you pick up at the end of the season and you finish 11-6 or 12-5? I feel like they'll want to have that kind of that we start the season 2-5 or something, or 3-5, and then we go on to
Get
win
hot at the
8
right
or
time.
9 straight. Yeah, and win 8 or
get
9
hot
straight.
at the
'cause
right time.
They usually, even like I said, even when they made the playoffs that one year, they were leading the division and then they just fell off. So it's always they just can't never finish down the stretch because last year they were, I want to say they were like 6-2, 6-3, somewhere like that. And
You got the
they
Ravens and the
just fell off.
Browns, another AFC matchup that'll be good.
Like I said, you know what you get out
Kansas
of
City Broncos, yeah, the Lions and the Eagles, that'll be a good one too. I
a
think.
great one. And then we got the Monday night in Vegas, baby.
Michael Parsons versus Ashton Genty. Let's see what happens there.
Still
That'd
not really big on. I know it's the Cowboys, and then you got the Raiders in Vegas, but I'm still not kind of big on the whole Raiders getting that primetime spot. Honestly, in my opinion,
I think-
But we'll see.
I think
We'll
primetime
see
you
how
have
it
to earn it. Like you have to earn the primetime spot.
Yeah,
Like
but Vegas.
but it's the Raiders, and the Raiders are a marquee team. But
I was about to say the earning prime time, that is not from the first half of this schedule release. That's not what I got from how they did
No.
this schedule. Nothing about it said earned. Everything said we're gonna try to throw out as much variety and as much mixture
Yeah,
of different. See a different place every week.
I can't-
See a
yeah.
different place every week is what they want to promote this year.
Yeah, I think I feel like they treat it as that. If you're on the cusp, like you're one of them teams on the cusp, or you already a team that's pretty much we know what we're gonna see out of you. You're consistent. You're gonna get the grace compared to NBA where we only gonna see like the Lakers, Knicks, Celtics, Sixers when they're healthy, Clippers, and all that, and in a couple other my favorite word, small market teams that always are competitive like a Denver, OKC. We're always going to see those teams get more notoriety in the NBA as far as when it goes to the primetime games or the national TV games. But I like how the NFL does it with theirs, with the pretty much the same amount of teams. And moving on to week 12. Thursday night, we finally don't get a divisional matchup, but this is I like
that's
this matchup.
That's gonna play
Yeah.
a role in the playoffs.
Seeding. Yes, this is one of
That's
those
gonna play a
seeding.
seeding
Yeah,
role.
yeah. So I do like that. The Jets at Ravens. Depending on where the Jets are at, the Jets just must-win game for the Jets.
I
More
keep
so than
looking at
Baltimore.
I keep looking at it, just for a second. I keep looking at Jets games and now I keep forgetting that they have a different quarterback, somebody that really, really could potentially throw a huge wrinkle into that franchise's everything this year, especially for a season. I'm looking at some of these games right now and I'm thinking to myself, the Jets could come out with 10 wins or better this year. This game right now that I'm looking at, the Jets and the Ravens, could sneakily be very, very good just because of the potential quarterback matchup and what kind of development they can get out of the team by that point in the season.
And the defenses. I want to say I like the defenses in both of those and in that matchup.
Yeah, I do too.
And then Steelers at Bears. We don't know
Cross
Yeah,
divisions
the
or cross
North.
conferences.
Yeah, Battle of the Norths. AFC versus NFC North. Yeah, I like that early matchup.
Another
Caleb Williams
Vikings Packers,
versus
another division rivalry at 12.
another. Like I said, keep your eyes on the NFC North too. I think that's going to be, as far as divisions go, I think they're going to be the best. And I want to say, I'm not going to crown the NFC East yet, but I'll give the NFC North as probably the best division that might have teams that win
I think that
10+ games.
that Giants Lions game is going to be sneaky good too, because you're going to see a different Giants defense and which quarterback is going to start for the Giants.
I think
Which QB starts, because
We
you have
might.
an option for 3.
this week. Yeah, we got a week 12. I think we'll see a Jackson Dart.
Yeah, we might see a
With
Jackson
that.
Dart start there against a pretty tough Lions
Because
defense.
at that point, and you don't want to throw him in a fire against a team like that because ain't no telling what Detroit will beat. But it is what it is. You know what you're going to get out of Jameis and Russ. They've been in the league 10+ years, so we already know what we get with those two. And then Colts at Chiefs, another where I'm gonna keep saying Daniel Jones might be starting in one of these games. So I'm gonna just keep saying
He might be injured
And
by
then-
that time.
And then Browns at Raiders. I like that.
I
Because,
think the
man-
one to highlight there is the Eagles and Cowboys, because that's a rivalry right there.
Yeah, of course, the late afternoon. And then, Dre's favorite team to hate, the Atlanta Falcons. Because we all know how Saints and Falcons fans get when they meet up for, meet up.
It's always a very, very fun, interesting afternoon of football.
That'll be an interesting matchup. That'll be an interesting matchup.
It's even better in the stands, if you've seen in recent years. We already know what we get out of the Cowboys and Eagles, so I'm not even going to elaborate on that. But I want to highlight the Browns at Raiders, because you got Ashton Jenny, the first running back, taken off the board. And then you got the Browns, who basically are
Have
trying
5 quarterbacks.
that and duplicate their Nick Chubb. And when they had Kareem Hunt, they got the 2 running back system. I want to say they drafted Juckins, right? And
Judkins
Yeah.
out of Ohio State.
did they get both of them? I want to say, did they get Juckins and Henderson? I know
No.
they got. Okay, I
No,
think
they
it's
got
Giants and
Juckins.
Patriots.
They just
Okay, I
got
know they
Juggins.
got another like marquee running back as well. I can't remember who exactly was, but I know they got Juckins. So that running back matchup right there, and then of course Myles Garrett and Max Crosby for the Raiders, and Myles Garrett for the Browns. See who can lead, have the most sacks at the end of the game, or who schemes around those two the best as far as kind of alleviating some of that pass rush away from them.
I'll tell you something else though. We're into that Monday night now. We're into that Monday night game, and to Dre's point that he said, I mean, it's like they're just
Yeah,
giving
Bouncing
out
locations.
games.
yeah,
Bouncing
Because-
locations. Because Sunday night football game with the
Buccaneers
Rams,
and the Rams.
with and don't get me wrong, I'm either expecting Stafford to be healthy and play this game, and we see a mediocre game out of both sides of these two teams, or I'm expecting for Stafford to go down by this point, not be featured in this game, and make this complete game absolutely abysmal. It's kind of the same sentiment that goes with the Monday night game. The 49ers coming off a really, really poor season, expected to perform well as always. We're either looking at a really good game or a really bad game. And I'm hoping to see a better Bryce Young too, because there's some of these games that I'm looking at for the Panthers that I'm saying, hey, this can either be a really good game or a really, really bad game. We talked about in the first part of this. I think there's like 3 or 4 games that we looked at where the Panthers have a really, really tough slate there. So even some of the back half of this schedule is pretty loaded with some top talented teams.
But I think you said it best. It all depends on which Bryce Young shows up, or if they're going to their backup, because that's what they did last year.
Yeah, I mean,
You
but
know?
you can do that, but at the same time, like when you have a young quarterback, you want to at least put some assets around them to make it okay. Like, but now they actually showed that they want to do that. So like now, if Bryce Young goes out there like, hey man, they tried with you, so there we go.
He's got to earn his spot now. He's got to
Yeah,
show that he's that leader and play well.
yeah. So that's where we are with that. And then as far as the 49ers, and we know what we get from San Francisco when they're healthy, one of the better teams in the league. So I expect them to be healthy even this year, even with some key losses. But I think they had a fairly good draft. And then with the big news of extending their quarterback of the offense and the quarterback of the defense and Fred Warner, so they'll be all right. And on to week 13. And now Thanksgiving. Look at these
That's a
games.
really, really
Look at
good
these
slate.
games. Look at
That's a
these
really good
games.
slate of Thanksgiving games. That's a really good Black Friday game. That is,
Yeah.
which will end up, and the college football schedule hasn't completely been released yet, but this is always one of those weeks coming out of, this is one of those weeks. I usually take off the week of Thanksgiving, and I always tell people starting from the previous Thursday night, which I think that game, I don't know what we just looked at it too, week 12. No, I'm sorry. Uh, Coming off of whatever the heels of like the Monday night game is from that week,
49ers
which
and Panthers.
49ers Panthers usually, depending on how that game goes, it's always a good start to the following week. That's like 10 straight days of straight football. You got some action that comes on Tuesdays. You got some other conferences that play on like Wednesdays and Thursdays. So by this point in the year, you're looking at some really good football. I think the same thing going into Thanksgiving week. You get some Monday night football. You get a Tuesday night. I think nobody plays typically on Wednesday. And then you get something like this. You start off with some smaller college football if you watch that. And then you get a game like this to start, always a divisional game with the Lions. I love that matchup. I even like
I'm interested in the
America's.
Cowboys Chiefs matchup. I'm not gonna
I was
lie,
about to
'cause
say,
that could be
I even like
that.
America's team getting to host Patrick Mahomes in the Chiefs instead of having to go to Arrowhead that day.
I was about to say, and this is one of those games that this might be a ratings buster game. Like,
Yeah,
so this might be Super Bowl level type viewership as far
That
as
Chiefs Cowboys game, I think, is going to be really interesting because when you
yeah.
think about it, the Chiefs want to take over like the holiday games. They want the Christmas game. Now they have the Thanksgiving game. I think this is going to be an interesting one. That Black Friday game, I think, is going to be a good game too.
And the
between the Bears
fact
and
that
the Eagles.
it's smack dab in the middle of the day, it says everything.
And then
It says everything.
I like how we got, we start off with a divisional, the North, NFC North. Then we get basically the two most talked about teams as far as the media goes. Even though Kansas City is not in the biggest of markets, it's just like when you win, you're going to get talked about. And then the Cowboys being one of the biggest brand in all the sports. So we
Cowboys
get
are
that.
Cowboys.
Yeah, and then we get the NFC North. Not the NFC North. I'm sorry, the AFC North as a nightcap. I like this week was week 13. Thanksgiving week might go down to be one of the best weeks as far as football goes, even late into the season.
Agree.
So
I agree because even go ahead, Dre.
I was going to say, even that Black Friday shopping game is one that last year I remember trying to watch the Black Friday game, not something that was very easy to pay attention to. This year, this is a game that with Caleb Williams, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, the Bears have some new additions as well on offense and defense that should make this a really, really good game to watch. This is also surrounded by rivalry week in college football. I thought about that as well. So you'll see some really good games surrounded by that 2:00 slot, either earlier or after. So that's going to be a really good slot for what some would expect to be a throwaway game, but I think it'll end up being a pretty good game.
Yeah, it'll be And then let's move to the Sunday games. I like this 49ers and Browns matchup because I know.
I think even Sunday's got some good matchups because you got the division rivalry with the Texans and the Colts.
Yeah.
I have no idea why we're playing in Miami.
Because it's warm. Because whenever they move north of I-4, it gets cold for them. So
I was say,
they wanted to give Miami a win.
Facts.
We rarely ever play Miami in the regular season.
Yeah.
No, but I think that's a good matchup. That's a sneaky good matchup.
Yeah, it really has potential.
That's going to be a very good matchup. Yes.
Especially at that point in the year. It'll be interesting to see who's healthy, who's on the field, what kind of game you can get out of it. because there's no
You might
guarantee.
you might see
Quinn
Quinn Ewers
Quinn
versus
Ewers
Tyler
versus
Shough.
yeah, I was
Yeah,
just about
I
to
was
get
gonna
to that.
say there's no guarantees in what actually could happen by that point in the year.
I like this
Uh,
Falcons Jets, Michael Penix versus Justin Fields,
the Bills
Bucks
Steelers game is
Cardinals,
going to be good.
Bucks
That Bills Steelers
Cardinals.
game.
Yeah, another game that can pretty much we can probably say, hey, wild card spots. A lot of these games later in the year is pretty much wild card positioning. This
Some
Sunday
young
night game,
guys,
yeah,
some young guys getting some spotlight there on Sunday
yeah,
night. I'm okay with
yeah.
that.
Look, another
And then
Monday night game.
and then another
50-50.
spot where I expect that two young guys will get some spotlight, and
Yeah,
Drake May and Jackson Dart. I expect that the Patriots and Giants seasons will already be decided by this point
yeah.
in the year.
I don't know, man. I could see the Patriots still vying
That's what I'm saying.
for a wild card at that point.
Yeah,
I mean, it could be a it could be a stacked crew.
yeah. And then let's see how we follow up. I already know week 14. I know the Thursday night game is Detroit and Dallas. I know that. So that's a great way to open up. Like I said, that's a great way to open up Thursday night. Kind of
And
set the tone
I'm
for
okay with that because I think both teams are going to be really good and coming in hot.
Yeah, but now
So-
That's
we're
gonna
going to
be
that part. We're going to that part of the Cowboys schedule where they get the 3 games in 10 days or whatever. So here we go with that. And then as far as the back half of the Cowboys schedule is the most difficult part. So it's going to be kind of important for them to stack wins early, and then I guess you could say kind of see how they finish down the end of the stretch to see how many games they win. Maybe they can go back to that 12-5 magic or even better. But
I'll tell you right now,
so,
into the Sunday games, you have that AFC North battle between the Ravens and the Steelers. That's going to be. I mean, you got some pretty good games here. The Colts and the Jaguars are going to be good. The Ravens Steelers going to be good. I still think the Packers and Bears. I mean, that's a rivalry that you can't take away. I mean, I think you're looking at a pretty good slate here overall in the early afternoon.
I remember the days where Steelers and Ravens was the game to watch back in like that mid to late 2000s.
And
It
might still be. It all depends on who the quarterback for the Steelers is, because
yeah,
if Aaron Rodgers does sign, it could be an interesting little concept there going on.
The Titans and Browns. I forgot the Browns drafted back. We could have potentially had a Travis Hunter, Cam Ward, but the Browns traded back, as we know, took offensive lineman. So, but I still like that matchup because we could potentially see Shadur versus Cam Ward.
Yeah,
those two were.
So that's a good plot line too, because look at all the trash talk that was going on before the draft.
They worked out. Yeah, they were working out together and stuff like that. Bears, Packers. I think Chicago's kind of good. Aaron Rodgers doesn't play for the Packers anymore, so they don't have to. They can, kind of.
It'll be really
course.
nice to see them start to change the course of history in that rivalry.
Yeah, so that's what I was about to get to. I like this Commanders and Vikings because you never know. This might be.
That might be a playoff seeding.
Yeah,
that's going to be a playoff seeding game.
Some wild card spots. The Saints at Bucks. Like I said, Mike Evans doesn't have to worry about Marshawn Lattimore anymore, unless it's a playoff game or if the Bucks have them on their schedule. But Saints and Bucks is always a fun game, especially like when Tom Brady got there. How the Saints was always doing a number on the Bucks, except for the playoff game where Drew Brees showed that he definitely needed to retire. I like this Dolphins-Jets matchup. It's one of those situations too, like with the Jets versus Patriots that I was talked about. Like we'll see where their seasons are. I like that Broncos versus Raiders because of the Ashton Genty and then the Broncos defense being what they are. And so I like that. And then now we get into
that Texans Chiefs game on that Sunday night is going to be another playoff matchup.
I like this Bengals
playoff matchup.
Bengals versus Buffalo.
Yeah, you know what happened last year in that same matchup with the Chiefs and the Texans in Arrowhead. Unfortunately, that was the game where Tank Dell went down. Also, be looking at a target time for his possible return. I think he went down around.
It's right about this time.
It was around. I think Christmas time. Yeah, around Christmas time. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if his return will indeed be at Arrowhead. There'll be. I always, I'm looking at some of these games too. And y'all just pointed out as fantastically with the Browns and the Titans, some of the storylines that are already written into uh, some of these games. The NFL, like they write these stories. They do it
Mhm.
for the teams. They kind of help string along. There's no way that you're telling me that one of the schedule makers didn't say, "Hey, let's try to put the Chiefs Texans game near a point where we believe that Tank Dell may be able to return. Let's make a triumphant Sunday night football story out of Tank Dell." So
But I mean, they're making it happen. I mean, because that could be a very fantastic. You're looking at a
yeah,
possible fantastic matchup on that one. I mean, that's going to be a really good. That's going to be a good matchup.
yeah, and the Chargers, Monday Night Football, even going back to week one, they have had a number of primetime games or games where they are at home during very marquee matchups on primetime. I don't know if it's Harborough. I don't know if it's Justin Herbert. I don't know who in Los Angeles.
I tell you who it is. I tell you
Okay,
who it is. You got to think the Olympics is going to be in LA. So guess
so
what?
they're really
They want
trying
to
to get a good
showcase
show.
they pro. Yeah, you got to have a lot of promo for the Olympics. So
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I won't be surprised if well the Lakers and Clippers go. Obviously, they always gonna get a bunch of games. But as far as the NFL goes, I mean NBA goes. I want to see Lakers and Clippers get tap on the shoulder more to get more televised games to kind of promote the area to anybody outside, even though we're 3 years away from the 2028 Summer Olympics. So yeah,
no, but the Winter
that's kind of
Olympics do count because they're going to try to bring people into the city of LA
yeah,
around that time frame.
and so that's what I'll get. But and then LA, one of the big media markets in the U.S. So no matter who's out there, and now we're getting closer to the end, week 15. Back on the divisional Thursday night, Falcons and
Yep.
Bucks. I kind of like that one. It's like the NFC South always sometimes. If it doesn't involve the Panthers, then some NFC South has some actually pretty good games that they
This
showcase.
uh this same matchup last year, uh on that same night last year, this is like what week 15, 16. This same matchup, this same game flipped last year in Atlanta was an overtime
Yeah.
thriller,
Yes, it was a
was an
thriller.
absolute barn burner.
What a
So
game!
this the NFC South is usually, or as of right now, and usually pretty poor, but these games really, really matter to people that are in the NFC South. I am not going to be surprised at all if this is another absolute classic.
That could be a wild card deciding game too. That could be a wild card deciding game.
I think it's
Yeah.
I
going to be a
mean,
Nah,
division
division.
deciding game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, even that. But I'm talking about like at a minimum wild card deciding.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
then we get
because look at the Sunday slate you got going in. You got the Ravens and the Bengals, another AFC North.
the
The
Browns and Bears.
Jets Jaguars will be interesting. Browns and Bears.
Shadur versus Caleb Williams,
But it all depends.
possibly.
It all depends on how good the Browns are. I mean, I think Caleb Williams is going to show out on that one.
Yeah. And then like I said, we know what you get from the
AFC
AFC
North.
North. And then like usually when the Ravens and Bengals play, I know like when the Ravens and Steelers play, it's kind of low scoring, but when the Ravens and Bengals play, it's more of a shootout. It seems.
Oh, it's
Well,
more of a
when you
shootout.
have Joe Burrow and
Lamar.
Lamar going at it against each other,
Yeah.
and then you also have Joe Burrow with T Higgins, and you have Joe Burrow with Jamar Chase. I mean, that's going to be a shootout. But the one thing that I don't like about it is Trey Hendrickson going to be able to be there to help stop Lamar? Because if he's not, then that's going to be a runaway game. Because Trey Hendrickson knows how to keep Lamar in check. He's better than anybody else they have on the roster.
I get it. You're better than nothing, but what
He's
they
better than
did,
anybody else they have on the roster to try to stop him.
Yeah, Dan Henry ran a party on him. That's why I kind of be like, but it's all about the scheme as well too. So more than sometimes individual players, and some of these, we get the two early divisional matchups: the East, NFC East, and AFC East with the Bills and Patriots. This might be a game. This could be a game where also we can see, like potentially. I think probably the Bills will probably have a two games up on whoever's in second place in the AFC.
Yeah, it'll matter for a wild card spot.
Yeah, but
it could matter.
Yeah,
for the Patriots for the wild card spot.
Yeah, so with that, and then same thing with these two. especially with my bold prediction of saying that we might get all 4 teams out of the NFC East in the playoffs, and I'm gonna stand by that.
That's a bold ask, but
And
we'll see.
I'm gonna stand by that. And let's see, I like that one. This one's gonna be pretty good. And then we get our favorite 2 teams out of the South.
I actually expect that game there between the Panthers and Saints to be a lot more worthwhile to watch.
Really, really good.
definitely.
Because we're going to determine at that point, is Bryce Young really the truth? And I think Tyler Show has an opportunity to show out.
And this could be a game too. Like, I mean, I know Sam Darnold's the guy, they paid him, but we could probably have a Jalen Milroe versus Anthony Richardson. We never got to see that matchup in college. So
yeah, that could be a good matchup too.
Pay attention to that. And then Cam Ward versus the 49ers defense, because I know he was saying teams defenses like the Cowboys are easy to shred, but I want to see you do that against these guys. And then
that's going to be a good game. That Sunday night game.
You could say arguably best, the 2 best receivers in football going basically squaring off against each other. I know the Vikings beefed up their defensive line, so the Vikings going to have pretty good defense. And also, we already know what the offense is going to do. And I want to see if my guy, KOC's guy, JJ McCarthy, I want to see how he'll be in this season coming off that ACL injury. And then we get this game. Last time I seen him on a Monday night, it was a score of 3-0. I don't know if they played on Monday night since, but that's the one game I remember.
It is all going to be dependent upon the quarterbacks and the quarterback play by this point in the season.
Well, I'm telling you right now, look where they're playing, and I'm telling you right now, Miami ain't going to sit there and put up offensive numbers
in the cold weather.
They're just not known to do that. So if their defense is solid, then they might be okay.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for extreme quarterback play in Pittsburgh in December, yeah, we're in trouble.
And on the week 16, and guess what? Our favorite thing to do, have a divisional game. Like Rams and Seahawks. I think to Raphael's point, the divisional games still want me more, because losing a divisional game is like losing 2 games, essentially, like playing against other opponents. So yeah, you want to kind of have that leg up.
I still think that'll mean something too, because I don't know if I don't know if the Rams are going to be ahead of the Niners at that point in time. So I think it'll mean more to the Rams if they're in second place behind the Niners.
I'll say the Rams
vying for a wild card.
I'll give it because, like I said, you can make a case for the Rams being in fair weather conditions and not turning the ball over as much from being in the NFC Championship game against Washington and possibly going on to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
they Saquon did what he did, but the Rams still had a chance to win that game. So
they did. They should have.
They
were all intents and
basically
purposes.
Jalen Carter pass rush from being Matthew Stafford's throw on 4th down to get into the next round in the NFC Championship game.
That Cowboys Chargers game will be good.
The 12. I hate when the Cowboys have the early kickoff, because it's like they come out so flat. So
I think it'll be a good game.
But I think it's a reason, because I think the Cowboys are playing on Christmas Day, so I think that's part of the reason why they probably getting this early game, and they got to travel. So, but the Bucs at Panthers, NFC South games, that I said, they're usually good. I like this Bills at Browns, Jets at Saints, interesting matchup.
That'll be interesting. That'll be an interesting matchup.
Yeah,
and I think that Vikings Giants game will be interesting too.
Especially for a guy that we looked at potentially signing, but didn't because of our original or whatever our plans. I guess our now post-draft plans for this year. So, I guess I can't even really say that we ever really looked at him, because at the time we had Carr still on roster. But it'll be a really good matchup. I'm also looking at this 12 o'clock Titans-Chiefs game. I don't know if you guys already mentioned that, but
I like that matchup too, because Cam Ward is going to be the future, and I think going up against a defense like the Chiefs, and it all depends on which Chiefs team shows up. It really does, because last year we saw the Chiefs team that showed up in these late games, and
Yeah, the defense
You
has
know,
been the offense has just been kind of because they don't really have they don't have a guy that guy at receiver. They just have a committee,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And Jaguars, Broncos, Trevor Lawrence, Bo Nix, Travis Hunter, Patrick Surtain. There's a lot of storylines you can create out of that. And then as far as I like this, I always like the Battle of the North because very gritty teams in both divisions.
That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting because again, if Aaron Rodgers is playing, he's
Yeah,
going back to Detroit to play him,
yeah,
and those two have a little bit of a matchup too.
I like this. This might be one of those Sunday night games where it might mean nothing because Tua's not there or Tua missed significant time and kind
Yeah,
of
you don't know.
tank
You just
tank
don't
the
know.
season. And yeah, but the Bengals, depending on what their defense is, so I'm watching out for the Bengals this year too. Depending on how they come out on defense, like can they at least be middle of the pack because they were terrible last year. If they're at least middle of the pack, they're a playoff team as far as being defense because you already know their offense is going to be top 5. So
Yeah, but what
yeah,
about
so
that Monday night game again? Going to the Colts,
one of those throwaway games. Honestly,
and then you have
yeah.
the 2 division games that have
So-
yet to be scheduled.
So these are probably some flexes. One of these
And-
games are probably going to be one of these 2 are probably going to be an early kickoff. Another one's probably going to be flexed or a late kickoff.
I'll tell you one of those 2 is going to go to that Bengals Dolphins game.
Or we might get them. We're at that point where we get those Saturday games too. So
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I think
Yeah.
we'll see those flexed into like early Monday kickoff at like, that's usually where they put that game on. That's at like 2 or 3 o'clock on a Monday.
Yeah,
And nobody really gets to see, but it's on, and you get off, and it's still kind of on, but it's really getting
Yeah.
ready to go off. I think it'll be in one of those spots.
yeah, we're moving. Yeah, because we moving to the Christmas, and then like I said, Christmas Day.
That's going to be a good
That's
game.
why-
That Cowboys Commanders game is going to
Yeah.
be really good.
I wish we kind of played last because of playing 12 o'clock Sunday and then having to travel and then
Hey,
playing 12 o'clock Thursday.
But
So,
you know what I like about the Christmas games is they're all divisional matchups,
yes.
and every single one of those teams are going to be in the hunt.
Yeah. And then
Every single one of those teams are in the hunt.
it's crazy because you get like the Cowboys are a Thanksgiving mainstay. Like they play on Thanksgiving. So is Detroit. And now you're competing with the NBA. Of course, you're going to get more viewers than the NBA, but you get the Lakers, the Celtics, and the Sixers are teams that so usually we always see on Christmas Day. And then now we got NFL kind of just coming in and hijacking the day, as like LeBron said. Yeah, so
Hey, LeBron
That's
LeBron can have Christmas Eve.
yeah,
You can have Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I
So-
completely agree that jam packing that day with divisional games, playoff potentially deciding games, seeding deciding games that actually like, hey, okay, I can name a couple people that are involved in these games.
These could be-
Really control the day.
These could be division deciding games, division champion games.
Yeah.
When you really look at it, I mean, because you're looking at the Cowboys can be on the top of the NFC, on the NFC East, and then Washington plays them, and they're number 2. I mean, that changes everything in the playoffs. Every single
And
one of
we
these
talk
games
about-
is
Yeah, and we talk about too. We've talked about in the past the difference in viewership. A lot of times with the NBA, NFL is these NFL guys have helmets on 90% of the game. You don't see their
Yep.
faces. The ability to relate to, interact with, see the facial expressions, animations, all that from the NBA players is why it doesn't matter if you put out the Charlotte Hornets versus the Lakers on Christmas, you can get some viewership because of LaMelo Ball and LeBron James.
Yep.
Football is not the same. That's why I said knowing some of the names that are involved in these games right here is going to make a big, big difference.
Oh, hey, breaking news, boys. Colts owner Jim Irsay just passed away at 65.
I just saw that.
Yeah.
Breaking
I know.
news.
I know he was I know he had his issues, was battling his demons, but
Yeah, he's
you know,
battling his stuff. He's battling his demons.
You kind of hate to kind of see
Thoughts
that.
and prayers to the Irsay family and the Colts
yeah,
organization.
Yeah, that's kind of tough. Yeah, I know. and he probably was. You know, you never know. You never know what somebody's going through, or you never know. He was probably trying to get back on track, and then something like that happens. You know, so it's kind of it sucks, man. But you know, it's just that part of life that inevitable part of life. You know.
Yep.
So, but, yeah.
Sunday games. The Sunday games look pretty good though. I do like those Sunday games. The Buccaneers
Yeah.
Dolphins, that'll be a good game.
And then, like I said, Steelers Browns is
Yeah, that's
always like I said.
AFC.
You know what you get from the North, the AFC North. You
Yep,
know what you
AFC
get.
North. You're gonna get
Like
what
I
you
said,
get.
I like this Titans at Saints. I like this.
Yeah.
I like this.
Another one of those games after a tough slate of games that
I
Cam
like this
Ward will
one too.
have against a couple quality opponents. It'd be good for him to go back down in quality.
I like this one too. Yeah. Oh my God. Look at this. Okay, so not yet slated. It look like I guess we kind of jumped the gun on the schedule. I was playing, but Patriots and Jets. Like I said, when the Jets had to go to New England, but this is like week 17, 16, 17. So the season will pretty much be like, okay, this is where you're at. With these two teams. So one of those two teams are going to make the playoffs. I'll just say that.
Oh yeah, I think one of those two teams will make it.
And more likely, I will give the nod to New England because I like what they did as far as the offseason. Not saying the Jets didn't have a good offseason, but I think the Patriots had a better offseason. Because the Jets also do pretty good in the draft.
I agree.
Yeah, but I think the Patriots, because it always going to come down to the quarterback. And Justin Fields being the guy being in the league the most, you would think you would go tip the nod that way with more experienced guy, but Cerisi is on his third team. So I'll just leave it with that. I like this Packers versus Ravens. I wish Aaron Rodgers was still in Green Bay in his prime. This is a matchup of matchups.
Well, with Jordan Love going up against him too, I
Lamar
think
is still not bad. Exactly. This is a Monday night game. You never know. We might look up in the stands and see Dre in attendance. So
it's possible.
They might. I think they might actually flex that game for that Ravens Packers game.
I think the Ravens Packers get it's in Lambeau, so I think they get a late afternoon slot because you know the conditions in Lambeau at this point in the year.
We're gonna start seeing some double and triple up games in the same days is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then a lot of these games,
it's around that New Year's time frame too.
Then,
so
yeah. So I mean, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least 2 or 3 of these games are gonna be Saturday triple headers.
Easily.
Yeah. So because we already got the Thursday. We might get 2 Fridays. You might get a Friday in there, so you never know.
You might.
Yeah. And the grand finale. And yeah, we all know. You can just look at some of these games. You get early game. A game
I should be in attendance for.
Yeah, you already know. Cowboys and Giants, but I'm gonna say early, but since it's the Cowboys, I'm gonna be
typically
late afternoon. But depending on where both teams are, you might get this is a late the Sunday night game, but So yeah, but these are good matchups. We don't really go ahead.
Those are all division matchups.
Yeah, and then we don't really see as far as like the Week 18 game. We don't really see where teams are playing because teams rest their starters or stuff like that. So they want to try to prevent that. It's all about that competition.
It all depends on where they're at.
Yeah, it's the competition aspect of it because you don't want to. When they're playing, so we can rest our guys. They're playing before us, so we can rest our guys. So. But now you might get the two teams playing at the same time, and you can't really rest your guys. Now you got to play your people, play your personnel.
I also understand why they have it not yet scheduled because all these games, there are games there that's going to determine divisions. It's going to determine playoff seedings, and they want to put the best ones.
Yeah,
the Saints are 3-13.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they're going against the Falcons team.
The Falcons who probably already they already pretty much wrapped up. Yeah.
We could put them on a Friday morning game.
Yeah, something like that. So, but overall, like I said, I think the week 13, the Thanksgiving week, is
that's going to week. We'll have a better understanding
as we go through these weeks.
Yeah. So, but in totality, I did enjoy that. you know.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good. That was a good review, boys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. So yeah, it's right along the time frame of the first one, that hour window. So it's pretty much all I got, and I'll just say condolences to the Ursay family and Colts organization and everybody affiliated with the Colts and all that once again. So to close it out, and I'll let Dre do the
Oh,
honors.
Well, before Dre, one announcement, real quick. Just one real quick announcement. For next week's episode, we'll be back to the 2-man crew because one of us is going on a very fine vacation to the Bahamas. Probably coming back with a better tan.
Much
Maybe a little
better.
hungover.
Much
Could
hungover.
could be entertaining. Dre, enjoy your vacation, sir. Have a good one. Safe travels. Enjoy the time with the family, and we'll see you when you get back, brother.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate that. This is I hate that I'm missing a few episodes, but you know what? It's always fun to just step away, unwind, reset, everything like that. This has been one of the best times of my life, especially with putting out this content that we've been putting out. Recording these episodes is definitely just a breath of fresh air. Um, I know you guys can handle it. If not, by the time I come back, what isn't what's broken, we can put back together if I'm not already fired. Um,
Nah,
but
No, you won't be fired. You're taking a vacation, bro. We all
because
need it.
honestly, honestly and truly too, you going on vacation, but at the same time, me and Raphael can kind of use that time too to kind of brainstorm some stuff too as well. So
Yeah.
we don't even have to put anything out. We could just kind of because like you said with the NBA playoffs, just kind of let the I kind of because
let the
we at the
chips
point
fall.
now. Yeah, we at the point now. It's just like I'd rather just recap the full series. Depending on if it goes 7 games, we could just go. We could just hey, look, this is how I saw the series play out, and just do a little brief summary of each game, and then go from there. Versus coming back every 2 games and then like, okay, this is what I saw game 3 and game 4.
Yep.
So yeah, we can kind of go about it that way. So yeah, we can kind of chill unless it's some breaking
Don't
news that happens.
yeah. Don't worry about it, man. Don't stress out. Just go have fun because sports is
Yeah.
going to continue while you're gone, and they'll continue
Yeah.
when you get back, and we will be here.
Yeah.
We
So
ain't going nowhere. You just
yeah.
got to go have. You got to go have fun. Spend time with your kids. Spend time with the family, and go out there and enjoy yourself, sir. So when you come back, you are fully rested, and don't worry about it. We'll pick up right where we left off. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
we kind of in that spot anyway, to where it's like you don't want to get to searching for stuff, and then like you don't want to just bring up the same stuff. Like, cause wait, you see on ESPN, we gonna see the GOAT debate 1,000 times before the next season starts. So it's just
Between
like,
then and now.
yeah. So it's just like it's stuff like that I want to avoid personally because it's beating a dead horse. So, and
But in the
maybe
meantime, drink one for me.
Oh yes, absolutely. By the time these two episodes come out, or the part one and part two of this series comes out, I already at least 3 or 4 drinks in, probably somewhere off the Atlantic, soaring navigating the seas. Hey, maybe I'll come back and I'll be the captain. This is episodes 13 and 14, episode specials
yeah, you
of
cut
Let Me Say
strike this
This
from the tape.
podcast. It doesn't follow in chronological order, but it is indeed still episodes. Um, guys, anything before we sign out?
Oh.
FaceTime while you're gone. We'll do a whole
Oh yeah, we can do
episode with
that
you
for
on the
sure.
beach.
For
You
sure,
feel
we
me?
can do that.
I'm gonna
You
set
know,
up a green screen like I'm out of town. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
bro,
this.
yeah.
Not a problem
I'll
at
crack
all.
open a beer right here with you, and we'll just
Make sure you take the label off,
Right, right.
I'll make sure it's blocked out.
or
Yep.
in a solo cup,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's how
one
you
of
do it. You
those,
got
a
to do the red
variety.
solo cup. You got to do the red solo cup. Just to maintain the fact that we don't want to get
Yeah,
we don't want to get the boot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't have anything else other than that. This has been another fantastic recording and episode from the Let Me Say This crew. As always, like, share, subscribe if you're new. Get this out to as many people as you can. Until the next episode, y'all, we are out.
Chef's kiss.